Hi, and welcome to this faculty focus on Connect. And specifically, this is for our teachers of BUSN 1305 Intro to Business. And I just wanted to give you a brief tour of some of the things that we use in Connect. I've been using Connect for a long time. You can see all my courses listed here. And as I did that, I lost my place. So I'm scrolling down here, and I've just created this copy of one of my classes that we can use as kind of a practice or a demonstration. So when you log into Connect, you may have lots of courses, you may just have the one course. So you're looking, through your class to find this introduction to business class. And this is kind of the course, and these would be individual listings here, would be sections. This had 2 sections in this course. So you can find that. Now, the first thing that you're going to need to know is, how do I get my students into my course, right? Well, Connect, the way that it operates is there's no course code, and that might be different than what you're used to. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to give your students a very specific web address or website that they have to go to. They have to go exactly to this website. So it's very, very important. You may want to email them the link and then tell them to bookmark it. The way that you find that website is, when you see your section, go to this little wheel here, gear wheel, and there's this registration sheet, and I'm going to click on that. Okay. Now, down here, this is the website they have to go to. You're like, oh my goodness, right? Okay, well, yeah. All of the Connect websites start with this same web address. HTTPS, Connect, MH Education, /class, and then / some version of the name of your course. But there's good news. You can change this last part. Unfortunately, you cannot change this part, but you can change this last part. It has to be unique to all other Connect sections everywhere. And so it can be a little bit of a challenge. You can incorporate your name, the year, the section, maybe part, you want to keep it short, but some abbreviation for your school. Now, the way you do that is you click on Edit this address, and you see how it only lets me change this little part here. And I'm hesitant to put anything in there, and you can see it has to be, because I don't want to take anything away from you. So think of something easy for your students to type, but ultimately I really would recommend that you simply email them this link, okay, whatever link you choose. Now, because I'm not going to have to type it, I'm just going to, there we go. I'm just going to right click on that, copy, or if I'm in Chrome, which I like, I can just click on the web address and it'll open a new window. So I have 2 tabs open. This is going to be what the students go in to see, and this is where I was coming in to as faculty, right? And we said this was going to be a faculty focus, so I do want to continue that, but I'm going to leave this student tab open over here. Okay, so I told you this is how you look at your registration sheet for the detail. You can edit the section details if you prefer for that name to be slightly different. And again, you can change the web address there. Excuse me. Okay, so you can do that, and you can see some of your other sections or other things that you need. If you want to copy, maybe you're thinking about changing something, and first you want to make a backup copy of the course just in case, so you can do that. Just be careful, because it does take time for these courses to copy. So as soon as you hit the copy button, you may think, I'm going to go in there immediately and start working. You may just want to kind of be a little bit slower. There is a reports button here. I'm going to show you different ways to look at the reports, so I'm not going to click on that now. And there is a student roster here. So as you're looking, especially during that first week, here's what you want to know. You want to know who's in your class, and you want to make sure only your students are in the class. Right now, I don't have any students in my class, so it doesn't look very meaningful there. So what if I stop, because I probably need at least one student to make this, See, do you see how my second section just populated there? When I tell you it takes a little time, it does take a little time. I normally give it overnight, quite frankly, but probably a couple hours. Anyway, okay. Because I want to make sure I get a student in my class, I am going to go ahead and as a student, I'm going to log in. So here's what I tell my class. I tell my students, make sure you're in the right class section. You should see my name there. If you don't see my name there, I don't know who's going to give you points for that assignment, but it ain't me, right? So, okay, so make sure they verify all that information. This says registration is not yet open. Check with my instructor. It may not be finished copying. Or if I go back over, aha! There are registration dates on my demonstration section, and that means the students cannot get into class, in my case, until classes actually begin. But for my demonstration, I want to be able to get in now. So how do I change those registration dates? Well, up here on the course, remember this whole thing is the course and these are the sections. Up here on the course, I am going to, and you can see here's the title and the time zone, edit course components, set registration dates, and that's what I want to do. And really, I wonder if it'll let me remove it for the purposes of this demonstration. Or it might require me to have some dates. No, it let me remove it. That's great. Okay, now you can limit registration into your course and make it only for a week or two. I'm going to tell you my personal practice. I leave it open for the semester, most of the semester, and the reason is because students get confused and they think that that's what it means, is that the course is over. So you may want to think about just making it those registration dates your entire semester. Okay, so now that I have cleared those registration dates, I'm going to go back to my student account and I'm going to, or my student web page. And remember, this was that web, site. You're going to give them that. Let me review that. Registration sheet. There was the website. You're going to email them this link. They're going to click on the link you email them, or they're going to copy and paste it into a browser. When they do, they'll arrive at this page, they'll verify your information, and then they will enter an email address. Now, you can tell them to use whatever email address you want them to use. Their high school email address might be the safest bet. If they, in our case, if they want to use Gmail, whatever, they can use whatever. I'm going to totally make one up. I'm going to call this pretend, and help me remember it, at pretend.com. Obviously, I don't even think there is such a website, but nevertheless, I'm going to use that. And I'm going to register, so I'm going to use begin. Now, if they have taken another class that uses Connect, they might be alerted to that fact, and they might be asked, if you're the same person, do you want this all to be one account? So you'll answer those questions accordingly. If not, if this is brand new, as it is in this case, I am going to type that in. They're going to use some kind of password. And the hardest part is here, you really have to pay attention and do everything that it asks. You have to make the password correct. I'm going to call this pretend. And I like having a pretend student because I can use it to demonstrate things. What is your town, your city, whatever. There we go, Memphis. The phone number thing, optional, that's up to them. In our case, the campus, it's listed twice, don't know why. I leave that as the default, and I agree to the terms, otherwise I'm not going to be able to use the product. It has recognized me, and it sees that that I might have used this account before. I honestly have not used that particular account, so I'm going to say no thanks. I want to continue with my new account. It's operating here. See, it's kind of slow, but it's going. I'm going to pause just so I don't waste too much of your time. Aha! So this is the very next screen. Now, you want to make sure you confirm. This is the book that we're currently using, Nichols Understanding Business, which is by Nichols. We are currently in the 12th edition. You see the ISBN there and all that good kind of stuff. Confirm. Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Your access to this product will expire in 5 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days from today. Now, why so long? Why am I getting this free access? Because we participate in that DEI program where they paid for this access as part of enrolling in the course. If the access is not prepaid for, and you notice I did not enter any access code or any specialized code. It knows because it's Southwest, okay? So if it does not say that, then there is a question about who's paying for access and all that. There is a 14-day free trial, but after that time, then access would have to be paid. But for Southwest, our courses participate in the DEI program, and therefore it is a prepaid access. Confirm. And you can see for how long they have that access. Okay, so it tells me that. That's not a problem. Hopefully that will actually go away, but this is just a demo course. I'm going to go to Connect. Okay, now when I first arrive into Connect, I tend to arrive at this clock view, and this is a simple way of saying, what do I need to do right now, right this minute, because I've got something due. That's great, but I don't like to look at, the students love this particular view, but you can see it says nothing is due right now. What I like to do is click this lectern. Okay, see this little podium here, but I'll take you through these other views kind of quickly. There is a calendar view. I do like the calendar view. Tells me when my assignments are due, when they're coming up, all that kind of stuff, but I like this lectern view. When I click on this lectern, I see classes. And I might have more than one class that is using Connect. If so, I will see them all listed here, and I'm going to click on that. Okay, now remember, this is how the student sees this. And so what the student is going to see is, first of all, they can rent a printed version. Don't need to. They can if they want to. They can buy a printed version. Don't need to. Can if they want to. Okay, and you see some other things here. If they just simply want to read the book, they can do that by clicking. Maybe they're in the middle of taking an open book test. Click that link. Have the book open in your browser. What they typically want to focus on, and a good thing to focus on, is the chapter assignments. So inside, these are folders, as you can see here, and it tells me there's 3 assignments in this folder. And here they are, and it looks like they're locked. And they're probably locked because they're not open until the copy that I made of this course. In fact, it tells me here this assignment doesn't open until August 24th. I'm going to show you how to change the dates because you're going to need to do that. But I first want to point out the assignments. The first one is called a Learn Smart assignment. And over here you'll see SBLS, Smart Book, Learn Smart. So I could just open the book over here on the side, but I'm not going to earn any points for that. And students are typically focused on, what do I need to do? What do I absolutely have to do to get my points? And so they're going to want to read the Smart Book. There are questions that they answer while they're reading, and I'll show you that where they earn points, and it's in essence interactive reading. Plus they can go in there anytime just to look at the book. Here is video assignments. This is great. In the absence of lecture or in addition to lecture, these videos are short, sweet, simple, and help you master concepts, and we'll look at those. And then we have what we call homework, and think of this as quizzes, okay? Okay, and we'll look at them. Notice that they're all set August 24th to open, and in this particular case for my course, set to close September 1. And you would see that in each of these chapters, and you would go through that until you got to the test. Okay, now Obviously, oops, these dates are not the dates that I want. So this was my student view. I'm going to go back over here to the teacher. And I'm going to go ahead and click into, this was the section that I copied, and I'm going to open it. The very first time you'll see something like this. Tells you a little bit about an overview of the course, how many total assignments, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, my voice is kind of going, so if you hear the ice, I'm drinking, trying to get my voice back. Let's click on Section Home. Now, you'll notice that the teacher's view, the instructor's view, is very different. If you need to, you can switch into the student view to look at it that way, but right now we're going to focus on the instructor view. I have some extra things in here that I'm going to ask you to just ignore, and I want you to focus on Chapter 1 assignments. And over here, Chapter 1 assignments. And so that's the student view, and back in the faculty view, Chapter 1 assignments. I click on the triangle. Here's those same 3 assignments. Now the dates are pretty easy to adjust, especially when they're grouped into folders like this. I'm going to click on this. It selects them. I'm going to scroll up, Manage Dates, and I'm going to change it. Now I can change all of the dates as a group or in bulk, or I can look at them individually and change these 3 assignments individually. I'm going to do it in bulk. And for my start date, I really want it to be right now. It's probably going to balk at me just a little bit. Let's see if I can get it to, say, 4:50 p.m. and save. Nope, it's not going to let me. It knows I'm trying to sneak this through. What if I said 4:55? Oh, still no. Some of the assignments contain delayed feedback. Due date. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to remove the due date. What I have the due date as. We're just playing in this particular section, so there's my due date. Okay. That's all you do. It's a date, it's a time. So I'm sorry if I went through that quickly, but you're just setting the date and the time, and I can see that that's been changed now. If I go back to my student view, and I'm going to refresh, and if I look at my 3 assignments, I should be able to access them as soon as the clock goes to 4:55. So I might have to, let's change some dates on the Chapter 2 assignments as well. So I'm selecting them. I am going to click on Manage Dates, and I'm going to change that to, well, let's see, to today at 4:52 p.m. And I may not, since I didn't open that, I don't think I'll even have to put anything in. I don't, so that's good. Okay, as I didn't open the due date box this time. Okay, so you see that that's changed. Now, what we can do while we're kind of waiting for this time to pass is let me show you some of the assignment settings that you have. I'm going to go back to Chapter 1. Here's our Learn Smart assignments. Now, a lot of the Learn Smart is pre-programmed, so there's not as many options here, but it's cool. You'll love Learn Smart. I'm going to click on this assignment. When I come into it, it tells me that there's 1 student enrolled in the course, that's me, and I haven't started the assignment yet. I can preview the assignment, I can look at the assignment policies. And notice I've got this show me how, so that's going to help you as you go. Very few policies because there's very few control settings in the Learn Smart, which is fine. You got a lot of other things to work with. Here's Edit Assignment, but the thing I want to point out is Manage Extensions. If you have students who have special needs, whether it's a disability, whether it is I don't know, you just need to extend the due date for a select group or one or more students. That's what Manage Extensions is about. So when I click on Manage Extensions, I will see all of the students enrolled in my course. Here's my pretend student, and I will have the opportunity. I could say that, this assignment was due September 1st. I'm going to give this particular student until the 14th to finish that assignment, so I can do that. If there was a time limit set on this assignment, I could also extend the time limit to give time and a half, something like that. So I'm going to save that. That was Manage Extensions. Okay, so again, let's just very quickly step through that again. I'm in Chapter 1 Assignments. I clicked on the assignment, and then I immediately see Manage Extensions. Now, I can edit this assignment, and you may want to do this, even for the Learn Smart. And Learn Smarts are about reading, and really, how much time do you want them to spend reading? And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying you have to balance this in light of other assignments, because the beauty of electronic or digital assignments is that you can overwhelm them very easily. For example, this says excuse me, the most important things that they need to cover are these three things. So I'm going to make sure that the assignment is asking them questions about reading in these three categories. If I feel that I need to add this fourth category, I certainly can. It adds a few more minutes. If I feel like they need to spend a lot more time reading, I can do that. You can see in this particular one, and each chapter is different, I can have them read for an hour, 20 minutes. Maybe that's too much. I don't know. I could leave all four of these selected, and I could say I don't want them to read so much. I'm going to move this little slider bar. I only want them to read 30 minutes. I could do that. Whatever you decide, here's how many points this particular assignment is worth, and I'm going to click on Next Assignment. Now I just changed this, this is just a demonstration course, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. You do have the option to rename. I like to include the word Learn Smart so that when I refer to Learn Smart assignments, I make sure they understand, but that's up to you. Here's those due dates again. You can set those, and I'm going to click on Assign. Sorry. Okay. And what Learn Smart does is it tends to take me into a location where I can create a new Learn Smart assignment. I don't want to do that. I want to go home. And once again, I'm at the list of my courses. Okay, let's look at the settings in the Chapter 1 video assignment. I'm going to click on that. And I can already see that there's only 5 questions in this video assignment, and again, 20 points. Good to know. Okay, you can change these things, you can adjust them. Okay, I can preview the assignment, I can review the policies. Let's look at that. A lot more policies here. Right now, there's no time limit. You could set a time limit if you want. They're not allowed to print the questions. The questions are, in this particular assignment, they are in order. That's not true for everything, but with the video assignments, that's probably a good idea. Not password protected. Credit for accuracy. In this particular case, 3 attempts, only 3 attempts. So you may want to emphasize that to the students. On each new attempt, you start from the beginning. You do not pick up where you left off. Study attempts we'll talk about later, but they're not allowed on this one. So you start to see. Now, depending on how your particular assignment is set up, and I am not saying that my settings are how all the courses or how your assignments are set up. You need to look and you need to make these decisions, right? You could penalize the student every time they have to go to the book. In other words, you should have read, you should already know, and if you're having to open your ebook, it's going to cause a point deduction. Okay, that's up to you. You can see that I have 0 on that. You can allow hints. In this case, for these particular video quiz questions, no. Can they check my work? Be a little concerned about that. What that does is it adds a link to the question so they can answer A and say, check my work, and it says, no, A is wrong. So they say B, check my work, and it says, no, B is wrong. C, check my work. And it does that until they get the right answer. So it just depends on, are you doing this as an in-class discussion study tool? How are you using this? Can they ask the instructor? I personally do not allow this because it does a messaging within Connect, and I prefer to communicate with my students outside of Connect, so that's up to you. Okay, what kind of feedback does the student get after they answer the question? Do you want them to see the score only? Do you want them to see detailed feedback? Do you want them to see detailed feedback with solutions? Well, you're going to have the opportunity to select that. But these are the current policies in my course, in my particular course. But again, it's different. I do see it says view and edit policies, and I could certainly click that. Just for the sake of demonstration, I want you to notice that up here I can also edit assignment, and I can also manage extensions. And remember, that's if we need to give time and a half, if we need to change the due date for a particular student. Okay, I'm going to click edit assignment. Again, I can change the name. I could add some additional instructions for the student if I wanted. Here are the questions that are going to be asked. They're already set up for you, so I'm just going to click continue. And here are some more of the settings. Again, here's the dates. And this setting, submit as is on the due date. So the question is, what do I do if the student never submitted it? They opened it, they started working on it, the due date has come and gone, but they never click submit. Well, if you leave it out there, you may not see, without submitting it, you may not see a score. So I like to have this option, and hopefully that is set for you. Now, this particular type of assignment is called a Chapter 1 video, and all of these assignments are set up as the category quiz. I could have decided they were category homework. I could have decided practice or exam. And what that does is it allows me to predefine a group of settings, and the next time I have a Chapter 2 video, I don't have to reset up all those assignments. I can just say, oh, it's going to be one of those quizzes. Here's where you can edit those assignments. So I could edit the time. I could edit the number of attempts by just simply clicking edit, and so on and so on. And so I'll let you explore those things on your own. I will say this, and maybe I can demonstrate this one thing. Maybe I want to put a time on this. So I'm going to edit. And I'm going to say there is a time limit, and that time limit is going to be 60 minutes to do that. Okay. Now, because I've made a change to the settings in this quiz category, what Connect wants to know is, are these the new settings for all the quizzes? And in one foul swoop, I could certainly make that happen. Or is this the setting only for this particular assignment? And so I'm going to say, this is my demo practice play course, so I'm going to click and say apply only to this one. So it made that change only to this particular assignment. Finally, I'm going to review and assign. It gives me the opportunity to double check, and then I can assign. What I always like to do is to come back out here and make sure that it is still showing and that it is still showing as assigned. If, by the way, I decided I don't want them to see these assignments quite yet, maybe I want them to, I don't know, do something else first before they get into this. Like sometimes I use these assignments in class and I don't want them to see it until they actually come to class. That's what this eyeball here is for. If I hide it, then when I come over as my student, there it is. Now you see it. And remember, I'm under the lectern, the podium here, which is called the classes view. And now I don't see it anymore. So I do want them to see this assignment. And it remembers where I am, but just as a reminder, the podium here, my class, here's the folder, and they see all the assignments. Now, they are all unlocked now, if you'll notice that. Before they had the locks, so I can get into them now, but I don't want to go into the student view quite yet. I want to finish the faculty view. So the final one here is homework, and I'm going to click on the name. That allows me to see the current settings. I can preview. I can click on policies, lots of policies. In this case, I see there's only one question, and it's 20 points. Now that's for this chapter. Again, I can see the policies. I can again manage extensions if I need to give somebody time and a half or more time on the assignment. I can do that, or I can edit. Okay, so I'm going to go under here and edit. And here's the question. I can click on the question, by the way, and when you see that there's only one question, this particular question is different because it's a drag and drop question. And so we'll look at these. And the cool thing here is when you hover over, that's when you get the details that you need to complete the question. Okay, now it's telling me the answers. Obviously, it's not going to tell the student the answers. Okay, but that is the whole assignment there. And let me continue. This one is set up as quote-unquote homework. That controls all the policies for this particular type, these types of assignments. I can expand advanced settings once again, and again I see all my options, and I can adjust these as necessary. And I'm going to review and assign. Very important that if you do go in to edit an assignment, that you assign it. Otherwise, it'll kind of go into this draft mode where the students can't access it. So assign. Make sure you always assign. Okay. So we've looked at the settings, and now we want to see, even though we're faculty and we're looking at this from faculty, I want to show you the reports, and I need some data in order to do that. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm logged in as a student, and let's look at this Learn Smart assignment. These are so cool. You're going to love this. The student comes over here and clicks on the blue arrow, not here, and that confuses people because we're used to being able to click anywhere in the general vicinity. That's not how it works. We're going to come over here. Okay, for me, remember I was given special additional access in terms of the due date. For me, I have an extension. Other students would not see that. They're telling me here this takes about 30 minutes. Remember, I reduced the time on this assignment. Now, I might go slower. It might take me 3 hours. Okay, but this is what I can expect. It's not yet started. 20 points possible. I'm going to begin. And there's some sound as we go through this that I hope you're going to be able to hear that your students will like. It's very informative and instructive. It takes a minute. They have to be patient. Very important. And I'm not going to stop the video because I want you to get a feel for it. It does take a little bit to load. Okay. Smart Book is the first ever adaptive reading experience. Adaptive reading means that Smart Book will measure what you know. As you read and answer questions, you will be guided to the part of the book that you need to learn at that moment. Smart Book will help you study more effectively and get better grades. Show me. That's what I was waiting for, is that to come in. I'm going to click on Show Me. Now, here's what it's telling me. The highlighting is going to change to reflect what I know, what I don't know, and what I need to know. So in the read phase, and you'll click on a button, it'll be in read mode versus practice mode. Now I'm going to tell you something important here. You do not earn points for reading. You earn points for practicing. I want the students to read. You want the students to read. But the reason that it is important to emphasize that is because some students will spend all their time reading, and the week will go by and they have not practiced yet. And so they will get a 0 on the assignment. And you don't want that to happen. So it is important that they take a balanced approach, and this software will help them do that. Okay, yellow highlights, this is what you need to focus on. As you are reading, then you answer questions. The questions may indicate that you already know. some things. In that case, the book will highlight it in green because that indicates you've mastered it. If I already know what goods and services, what goods and services are, then I don't necessarily need to read that. Does that just make you take pause? It does me. When I first started using this, that unnerved me. As a teacher, I can never tell a student, do not read this section. But let's be real, they skim. And so this is going to help them focus on what they need to know. Now, that being said, there is nothing that stops them from reading. Okay, it's always there. It's just, what do you need to focus on? You need to focus on what's in these yellow highlights. The highlights will change based on what you've learned. We know what you've learned because you're answering questions as you go. After reading for a while, the practice button will glow, indicating that it's time for you to start practicing. In the practice phase, you will answer questions that measure your understanding and help you learn the material. If you're struggling with the question, or when you see the read button glow, then it's time to read. If you are answering a bunch of questions wrong, it's going to tell you you need to read. And that's how it should be, right? Because you're supposed to be testing your understanding. You're not supposed to be bulldozing through the assignment. And this smart book, these Learn Smart assignments, are great for that. So going back and forth between the two phases is the best way. Click on Next. All right, now you do need to emphasize this as well. Students get into Learn Smart and they cannot get out because you can't find the menu. And the menu is represented by these 3 bars. You're going to see them in the upper left-hand corner. So that's why they're telling you, is because it is very easily overlooked. Yay, I'm in. Next. Yay. Okay, now we're into an optional gaming mode. Are your students gamers? Do they like to play games? Well, that Learn Smart assignment, there are students all over the world doing that Learn Smart assignment. So if you want to compete with them, they can do that. If they want to compete anonymously, they can just check that box there. So they can do that. For my classes, at my personal practice, I tell them, knock yourselves out. If you want to do that, I am more than happy. Go ahead. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to cancel. Now, we only go through that little orientation the very first time that a Learn Smart assignment is opened. Now, I am in the book. This is the Smart Book. Remember that I could have gone into it by clicking another link on the screen. Why? Just use the Smart Book. That's what the students tend to do. On this left-hand side, these are pages of the book. If you had a printed copy of the book, it would look just like this, with the exception of the highlighting. What I tell my students is, if you've ever gone to the bookstore and asked for that used book that the A student just turned in because it was all highlighted and marked up and that's the one you want, this is kind of like that, because this yellow highlight here tells me that I need to know that and that I currently don't know that. It'll change, of course, as I go through. Now, but again, I'm doing this just to emphasize to you that these pages over here are the book. This is the text. Everything from, this glossary summary to everything. Now, sometimes when you come in here, you will see text that is gray, and what the book is telling you is, don't worry about that right now. If you're like me, you're like, why not? I want to see it. I've got to see it. So I'm going to click on it, and that's going to bring it into focus. So at any time, you are not prevented from reading. You can read things, but the great thing is it's interactive in the sense that, a lot of this stuff is clickable. Up here at the top, if you need the students to go to a certain page number, they can click and then type it in, and it will go to that page number. Let me go back up here to the top. I'm just going to bring up page 1 because my learning objectives are going to be grayed out to begin with. Again, if I want to see those, click on them. If I want to go directly to one of these learning objectives, I can click on it. It's an interactive book and it's great in that way. Now, I am currently in the reading mode and I do not earn points for this. So down here at the bottom, there's a toolbar. All right, kind of helps. I can highlight. I can do my own highlighting if I want. I can change the font size, make that bigger if I need to. Okay, all kinds of things. I think that's the Ask the Instructor. So all kinds of tools down here, but I need to practice, and that's the only way I'm going to earn points. So I'm going to click on Practice. Now, I'm stunned that this is a true-false question, because 9 times out of 10 these are going to be, especially in Chapter 1, fill in the blank. Okay, they are true-false, they're multiple choice, they're fill in the blank, they're rearrange the order, and we're going to see examples of all of this. But let me tell you a little about how this works. The question currently is, true or false, many small businesses fail every year. Okay. Now, down at the bottom, I have 40 questions. That's because I changed the time limit. Do not assume that your students will have 40 items. They will have however many items they have. They need to look. And if I answer this question correctly, many small businesses fail every year, I'm going to say true. That's not enough. Do I know it? It was a complete guess. Kind of, sort of, maybe think so. I don't know, not really sure. If I get this wrong, and I am confident when I answer, and I confidently answer wrong, then I did not know that answer, did I? This is a smart book. If I get it right, and I had no idea it was a complete guess, does that mean I knew it? I'm going to say true, and I'm going to say I know it. It confirms, gives me the correct answer, and if there's a problem with the question, they can challenge it, but I'm going to click on OK. When I do, my questions reduced to 39, from 40 to 39. Now, the term factor of production, I'm not going to read. I'm going to click the first one. I'm going to say I know it, and I got it wrong. I've done that before and got 3 right in a row, and I was trying to get it wrong. It's so funny. I got it wrong. It tells me the correct answer, so I can learn from that. And when I click OK, I am still at 39 questions. So the only way that I'm going to get to the end of this assignment is I have got to answer the remaining 39 questions correctly. So this is not a quiz that you can breeze through and say, I'll take the F, that's fine. It is going to kind of force them. Now again, we're in this practice mode. Okay, now I've got a toughie. I knew I was going to get one of these fill in the blank questions, and it says the 5 blank of blank are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and knowledge. And I don't know. I do not know the answer. So I guess I'm going to be trying to answer these questions for forever, and I'll be stuck here at 39 questions forever. No, fear not, because there is a read about this button, and I'm going to click on that. And when I click on read about, did you see how it moved me down the page? It doesn't just take me to the chapter, to the book. It takes me not even just to the page, but to the part of the page that is addressing the answer. Is that not fantabulous? I mean, that is just great. Maybe it scrolled a hair too far because I'm looking for factors of production, right? 9 times out of 10, it's in fact, here it is, it's in the yellow highlight. Traditionally, business economics textbook emphasized only 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital. So there it is right there, factors of production. So I see the question has been minimized over here to the side. I've got my answer now from page 9. And I'm going to go back to the question, and I'm going to type in factors of production. Now, better type it correctly, because you might be able to, there's some certain common misspellings or capitalizations that it might take, but if you don't spell it right, no, it's not right. And I'm going to say I know it, and yay, I got it correct, and I'm going to say okay. And I'm down to 38 questions.
You've answered all of the questions relevant to the topics you've read about so far. You can continue to practice if you want to, but if you do, you'll get questions about sections you haven't read yet.
Now, for me, oftentimes in Chapter 1, I have students who come in with some knowledge. They just want to knock out those questions. They pretty much they know the information, so reading is not, they get so bored. They just can't stay focused on it. So they just want to knock out the questions. Hey, that's great if they're doing it. If not, she's going to bug them, and she's going to say, notice the button is glowing. I need to read. And I can go back, and it's going to take me to that section. Should take me to that section. Oh, I thought it would take me to that section. I think I'm in 1-2 now, and I can read about that. And I can, you know, 'cause you saw before I was on page 9, so I can start to go through and I can read. Oh, sure enough, yeah, I just need to go. Oh, next section. That's what I should have done. Next section down here. And that makes sure that now I'm reading onto this next section. So I can read, and I can do that kind of stuff. I see a little note there. And when I'm ready, I can go back to practice. And I need to answer some more questions so that I can continue this assignment. Now, pop quiz. How do I get out? You can never leave. Up here, hopefully you're yelling at your screen. Remember those 3 bars. But you saw it was not obvious. You can easily forget, and students do get confused. So I can come up here. There are lots of things that they can investigate here. They can look at reports on how they're doing, you know, all kinds of things that they can look at. Knock yourself out, explore those. I am going to, down here at the bottom, leave the SmartBook. Now, I'm going to tell you something critical about these SmartBook assignments. You'll notice that the due date for this is September 14th at 11:59. At 12 a.m., when it flips, I typically set mine at 11:55. When that clock hits 11:56, they can still be in the assignment. In fact, long after this due date, in fact, let me kind of go down here. I'll find Chapter 8. And this assignment's not, oh, I don't think, will it let me in? No, it's not going to let me in. If it's past the due date, I'm not thinking correctly. If it's past the due date, it's 11:56 and it was due at 11:55. It's the stroke of September 15th. They can still go into the book because this is the book, right? Now they can go into the book over here as well, but they like these interactive books. They will not earn points. They will not earn points. A nanosecond after the due date and time, they might answer the question correctly. They will not earn points. These Learn Smart assignments go into what they call recharge mode. And recharge is for recharging your brain. It's a great study tool for the test. Great study tool, great way to go into the book, and they can read the book and they can practice with the questions, but once the due date and time have passed, they are no longer earning points. You really do want to emphasize that to them because they will just keep working away, and they do get upset when they find out you stopped earning points 3 hours ago. Okay, so all right, next, so we've worked on that just a little bit. Video assignments, I do want to go into that for a very important reason. 60 minutes I have to begin this one. I'm going to start, and let me just give you a brief overview. We're not going to play all these videos. Okay, I can get started. Remember, I only have 3 attempts. I'm using up my attempts. This is a short video. I'm only going to start it. See how it's less than 11 minutes?
Today, it's
okay. So they can do that. They've got to scroll down. Okay, now the temptation here is that after you answer the question, they're going to want to hit submit. What you want to tell them as the instructor is make sure they are using next or using the menu down here. Okay, they need to, and they'll see the video again, but scroll down. Scroll down and next. I'm just clicking this bottom thing. Scroll down and next. Those are very important concepts. You'll see the video again, scroll down and next. Okay, so the video is giving them the answers to these questions. So they can stop and start the video and advance forward, but that's the key here. Okay. Now, I'm not going to answer this 5th one because what happens if I don't and I hit submit? Before I do, look over here. I've got a link to the ebook. References just is going to tell me what the learning objectives and that kind of thing are. Ebook, it just opens the book. Okay. Sometimes what students will do is they'll have one browser window open with maybe even the SmartBook, but that's just another way to get to the ebook. So I'm not going to answer this question. I'm going to hit submit. I could save and exit. If I do save and exit, caution, the clock never stops. The clock never stops. Save, exit, reboot. clock is running. Submit. Oh, I did not answer one question. That's what I wanted you to see, because I did not answer question 5. So if they do try to submit, they do get an alert that they have not answered all questions. I'm going to go ahead and submit, and I'm going to view my results. Now remember, you have the option of what kind of feedback to display. That is up to you. It is telling me here that that answer was wrong, and in this particular case it is telling me the correct answer. You don't have to. You may say wait until they've done all 3 attempts. Okay, so that's in your settings. Remember, next is how I get to the next question. Oh, I didn't do so well this time, but it is giving me those answers. Did I not get a single one right? Oh, I didn't, but you can see wrong answer and right answer. Okay. Explanation down here at the bottom gives me just a little bit more. Remember, this one I did not answer, but it gives me just a little bit more detail about why that was the correct answer. So that was by clicking explanation. Okay, so I've seen that, and what I want you to know as the teacher, because this is the student view, but I know that it's critical to helping the students understand. When I have finished this assignment, I get this link that says see report, and every time I make an attempt, I'm going to be able to see that up here. Boy, this was really bad. It was terrible. I didn't get anything right, but I had to click that, and I see my one attempt. Okay, let me go back. Let me do this again so you can see, and I hope I get one thing. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I apologize. Is known as risk. Can we get maybe one right? If everybody's going to trust customers, then McDonald's could possibly. Oopsie, I haven't watched the video, so I don't know more revenue. Guessing here, allowing customers to search Redbox kiosk for a particular movie is made possible by new, let's say, technology. Blank is the study of population in regards to society. Let's say that is going to be demography. And if you choose to start your own business and work for yourself, then you would be an entrepreneur. Okay, so I've answered all the questions. Hopefully I did better this time. I can view my results. Oh, I got a 20 out of 20. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so I can go back through. I'm going to exit this. And again, I'm going to be able to see reports. And so I can view my reports, right? Now, when I first come in, you're going to get a lot of these kind of questions. What do you mean I made a 50%? I made a 20 out of 20. You have me down for 10 out of 20. What are you talking about? Do you know what this is? It's the average, right? It's the average of the 2 attempts. Now, is that how you're going to record the grade? That's up to you. I do the highest attempt. They only had 3 attempts. I am going to record the highest grade possible. That's my personal decision. And I'm going to show you from the faculty perspective how you get that information very easily. Before I do, let's go back one more time to classes. Remember that lectern is the view that I think is the most helpful. And let me show you the homework assignments. Begin and continue. Okay, this is that drag and drop assignment. Okay, so you hover over and you decide where does this go, and you match this the situation. Borders booksellers struggled for years and eventually declared bankruptcy as consumers increasingly turned to downloading books from the internet rather than buying hard copies. So what environment is this describing? I'm going to say technology, although it could be competitive. Why do I say that? Because if I go to BlackBerry, when the BlackBerry phone system quit working, it affected 70 million customers. Those customers turned to other cell phones which offered the reliable. So now I am thinking that BlackBerry is competitive. I don't know. You're going to throw some of these wherever they're supposed to go, and you'll get it right because you'll read all this stuff very carefully. And this only had one question, so there's no next, and you will hit submit and submit. Oh, I got 60%. So I'm going to exit, and now I see that I can see report for this one, and I can go back through, and again, it depends on how you enabled this. But notice here's my chapter 1 video, here's my chapter 1 homework with my single attempt, and notice it even shows me how, 1 minute, right? Just one minute. Okay, so I've shown you the student view. Oops, go to the selector, and that's the one I want. While I'm here, I'll show you this. The students love this as well. They can look at their results, and I'm going to click on that because do you notice an assignment that is not displayed? The Learn Smart. The Learn Smart is not going to display until they finish. It does not even display your 80% done or your 90% done. It doesn't display that at all. Now, you will have some abilities as the faculty to run the reports, but they need to finish. And to me, that's what you're emphasizing to them. I don't see my score. Yep, because you have not finished. You need to finish. You need to finish the reading. You need to answer the questions. And they have to get them correct to get to the end. Okay? All right, so that is the student view and some great things that, that they can look at. I'm going to go back to my lectern here and to my classes. And hopefully that helps you to feel more comfortable talking to your students. All right. Here we're back to the faculty view, and again, looks very, very different, doesn't it? So you see things a little bit differently. They've been working on the, Learn Smart assignment, the video assignment, the homework assignment, and so now I want to see what the grades are. So if you come up here to performance, kind of a cool thing is you could just click performance. I say that, click perform. Yeah, click performance, and you can click on reports. Now, Insight is awesome as well. That's another video. I'm just going to stick with reports. The thing I like to, at a glance, see with the reports is where does the class stand? What this will show you is not individual names or individual scores. It will show you the aggregate of your class. What I like to do is I pull this up and I say, okay, out of 25 students in the class, I have 12 students who completed the assignment, who are participating in the assignment. Of those 12 students, we have a 95%. But the problem is, you see that, I'm sorry, I was trying to show you, see it where it says 60% average. That's the average, because remember, that's the average. Oh, no, that one I did get a 60%. Okay. It's the average for all the students is what I'm thinking. Now this one it does show because it's focused on the best attempts. And so it's showing, and I'll say, that's great. I've got one student out there and we've got 100%, but it's only one student. I need the whole class participating. So come on, class, this is where you need to be. Your classmates are out there. Everybody's working. Where are you at? You got to get in there. Got to start working, right? So that's why I use this as a motivational tool. Now, from this performance reports, that's what we clicked on. We could click directly on these reports down here, or you can go reports, same thing. I've got assignment results here. I've got assignment results there. So performance, that, blah. All right. Now, for this particular section, I've got all of my assignments listed here, but we're only working on chapter 1 right now, so I'm not really interested in anything else except this. So I'm clicking this, I'm holding my shift key down and clicking the last one, so I'm selecting those 3. And over here on the right, do I want to see only their best attempt? That's what I personally grade. Do you want to see only their last attempt, all the attempts, or an average? I do best, but think about what you want to do. Do you want to exclude attempts submitted after the due date? Well, remember, I have them set submit as is, as of the due date and time. If you leave that open, that would be up to you, and they will be marked as being late, okay? Drop assignments with the lowest score, again, things you can explore. I like to look at the points. You can look at percents, you can look at points and percents. So you've got all that good stuff going on. I am going to click on View Report. So here's what I did. I came in, I clicked on Performance, Reports, and Assignment Results. It brought me to this screen. I selected the assignments that I was interested in. I like Best, I like Points. I click on View Report. This can be exported as an Excel spreadsheet, which is very nice. You will see all of your students listed, and you'll see again their total points, and I see they did not in this particular case complete the Learn Smart. Don't see anything there. Of course, the due date has not passed yet, otherwise I would see maybe I got like 2 points. I would see that 2 points out of 20. Okay, I see I got full 20 points here. I see I got 12 points there, and so I would see that anything that was submitted late, if you allow that, if you change the settings to allow that, you would see there was an extension or something was submitted past the due date or something requires manual grading. These are set up to grade automatically. So that, in a nutshell, for faculty is how you work in Connect. It's how you change the dates, it's how you change your assignment settings, it's how you run reports, and how you guide the students. Perhaps two other things that I will show you is under performance and reports. There really are a lot of reports, and I'll leave it to you to explore, but student performance may be very important. What this will do is allow me to type in the name of the student. My student's name was Pretend, and you see it found me already, and it shows me how many attempts I've made. In some assignments you may allow unlimited attempts, and if so, however many they did are there. So Pretend emails me and she says to me, that is not fair because I got a 60% on that assignment, and that was just not fair. I worked so hard. Really? Because you spent 1 minute on that assignment. So perhaps if you spent not from 5:26 p.m. to 5:27 p.m., perhaps if you spent a little longer on that assignment, you might do better. Okay, so it gives you all the details for that student. Okay, you can print it. Personally, I like to export it to Excel, but you have all these different options. If there are assignments in progress, you will see that under this in progress tab, and you see here my Learn Smart is in progress. Alrighty? Okay, so that was one of two things. The last thing I want to show you that I encourage you to explore is this library. Goodness, this course has great resources for you. In addition to the things that I just showed you, notice that there are instructor resources here, and so you can click on that. Oh, it's probably mad at me because I'm here as a student. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so it did work. It was mad at me for a minute there. Let me go back. Course home. Here I am, all my stuff. Up at the top, reports are over here, but library. And when you go into the library, check out Instructor Resources. Dadgummit. I don't know where all I'm... Oh, maybe I have another browser open. No, I don't know what the problem is. Okay, anyway, let me kind of keep on going. Instructor's Manual. There are PowerPoints. There are student PowerPoints. Because there may be notes or something. You don't want to spoil the lecture by letting them look down and see the answer, right? Test bank, some stuff on the stock market, sample syllabi. You really might want to check that out. Dadgummit, I'll leave that to you. I wish it would. I don't know what the problem is here. This is not too many. I don't know why it's thinking too many logins. I don't know what the problem is here. I really wish I could show you oh, yay, video library. Because if you need some lecture content, this is fantastic. Notice that there are transcripts provided over here. These videos are also closed caption. If you get into a chapter, and you motivating employees, this is a great video that you may want to show your class. It's online. You can click that play button, and in doing, you can't share the link with the students, but if you are using something like Microsoft Teams, just make sure that when you share your desktop that you click that little button that says to enable, the little check mark above desktop that says enable the sound, so that the sound of the video plays. But this is great, talking about how motivating employees, what they did at Appletree to change the turnover rate in a customer call center business, and the turnover rate was above 100%, and how they've brought it back, and they're leaders in their industry. All kinds of behind the scenes things, Dunkin' Donut, depends on what chapter you're doing, but great case videos here. Anyway, so from the news, you have to look at from the news, because you will then go to this website and you will find so much current event information, and it includes discussion questions, and some of them are just these, look at this, the coin shortage, so maybe you want to talk about that, scheduling, these great, oh, look at that, Clorox wipes. I mean, these are so topical, and they've prepared a little something for you, and they typically ask some discussion questions at the end. So that is just the greatest thing since sliced bread. Again, how did I get here? From Connect, Library, Instructor Resources, and that last one from the news, fantastic. Video Library, fantastic. PowerPoints, sample syllabi, or when I say syllabi, schedules. If you're trying to fit your stuff into kind of a 10-week schedule, that might be helpful. So I hope this overview helps. I know it was very long, but as we get into this week before classes and you're waiting to kind of get into your content and move around, I hope this will help. Again, the home button is how you get back there, and my courses, well, first of all, I can switch sections. That's very handy dandy over here. Between my multiple sections, and if I need to go back to my entire course list, I can click on my courses. And the final thing I'll show you, I'm just doing a Control F so that I can go through this page very quickly. I'm looking for my demo course. There it is. And one of the things now that I will see is my roster, and I have my first student enrolled. Notice that it's already telling me that this student has an extension there, but I can click Manage, and no time extension, allow time extension. I have to say I always do these things individually because it makes me nervous, but you can explore with this, allow an additional, I think if you say additional 50 minutes, that would be time and a half, right? Additional 100% would be double time, so you could put that to the student, or to, yeah, I guess to the entire student. I guess I could do that. That's pretty cool. I think I'll try that out. And then you can see this assignment down here that it shows that I've already in progress, and I can remove that extension. Let me go back to my roster page, because that was clicking over here on Manage. You also get to see the student's email address. That can be very helpful. If I click on the student, the actual individual student, I can turn them off. This is very helpful if you have a student who is no longer in your class. At the college level, we have students who are removed from classes for different reasons, and it is possible they might get back in to the class. So I don't want to delete them, because if I delete them, I lose all their records. So I want to keep them out there. I just want to mark them inactive, meaning they can no longer get to their coursework. You may find that you have students who are from University of Timbuktu, and somehow they've gotten into your class, and clearly it's a mistake, so you need to delete them out of your section, and so you can delete that student also. Okay, so how did I do that? Again, not by Manage, but by clicking on the student name. So I'm good to go there. Notice that I'm even licensed, which is very handy. As a faculty member, I do like to have some kind of demonstration account so that I can do videos like this for the students. Because you're in a course that is participating in the DEI program, it allows me to do that without even a 14-day trial. I'll get to keep this user ID throughout the semester, so that's nice. Otherwise, I would just simply use the 14-day free trial, but that is Goodness, that is so handy to do that. Oh, because I can do that, I will caution you that the students sometimes accidentally do that. They register under multiple emails because they have difficulty. What I do is then I will go in and say, okay, which of these accounts are you using? Let's make sure that we understand which is your active account, and I will make inactive and or delete, depends on the circumstances, the account that is not they're not using, because I don't want to they should not have two times to take the test, right? They shouldn't have two different logins to take the test. So we want to make sure that that's protected in that way. Finally, back to courses, and I promise you that I am finally done. If you have questions, I will answer what I can. I'll be glad to answer. Also, our rep, our McGraw-Hill rep, I'm going to give a shout out to Keith Tudor because he's fantastic. So between all of us, we'll get you an answer, we'll get you the information that you need, and please know that you're well supported, and I hope this video helps you to get started. Thank you.